Jane is easily the most exciting character for me in Zenless Zone Zero so far, so today I want to go over her kit to see whether or not you should pull for her on your account. And I mean, for me, I'm going to pull for her regardless, but she definitely is going to be a very strong character, and I think it is important to know how she is going to work here. So we're taking a look at her kit here, courtesy of Pridewin. They, with the creator experience stuff for Zenless, or whatever early access stuff they have for it. I don't have access to the early access stuff, so shout out to Pridewin for having someone posting all the info here who does have the early access stuff. So looking at Jane here, starting out with her core skills, and also just talking about generally how she works. She is a physical character who is in the anomaly specialty, so she's going to be an anomaly DPS character. So you're going to be wanting to get the assault anomaly with her, which is the physical one that does a very big amount of damage. But she ends up being very different from other assault characters because of her core skill right here. Whenever she hits an enemy, she puts them in the nod state for 10 seconds. And if assault is triggered by any ally on an enemy with the nod state and the flinch effect is caused, it's going to increase that effect by 5 seconds, which increases the amount of days that they'll take. And also, the assault damage on a nod enemy will have a chance to crit, which is massive because anomaly damage for like assault and shatter, which are the two like big damage, like single big hit of damage kind of anomalies, they kind of work like if you play Honkai Star Rail, it works similar to break damage and like super break. So this passive is basically like super break, where you get a massive amount of damage on top of the already really strong anomaly damage. So this has a base crit rate of, they only have it at level 4 here, 23%. I assume it'll probably go up to like 30 or 40 for base, and then the crit damage is static at 50%. And each point of her anomaly proficiency that she has will give her even more of a crit rate increase, so that is going to be very good for her. Then for her additional ability, whenever you have either another anomaly agent on the team or you have agents in the same faction, she's going to get a 15% anomaly buildup rate increase, which will give you more assault activations. And also when the enemy is already suffering from an anomaly, her anomaly buildup towards that target gets an additional 15% boost. So you can get up to 30% anomaly buildup rate from this. So you're going to be getting her assault very consistently. Especially if you are playing around this and just playing around anomalies in general. So to go over her skills here, I'm obviously not going to talk about simple things like the basic attack. It's just a basic attack at the end of the day. But the main thing for Jane's kit, and the main thing you want to play around with, is her passion state. So whenever she triggers either a perfect dodge, defensive assist, or she damages the enemy with any of her attacks, she's going to accumulate passion stream. And once your passion stream meter is full, she's going to enter the passion state. And in this state, she gets a few nice buffs. Firstly, her physical anomaly buildup rate is increased by 25%, adding on to what you get from the additional ability as well. So already that would be at 55% if you have that both abilities active. And if her anomaly proficiency is above 120, each extra point will give her a 2 base attack, or 2 attack increase up to a max of 600. So you can get some really strong damage, not just from having very high anomaly proficiency, but also being able to get some extra attack on top of that. And when she's in the passion state, whenever she attacks an enemy, it's going to use passion stream. And once you use the entire passion stream meter, you will exit out of the passion state. But also, if you perfect dodge or defensive assist, you're going to get passion stream back regardless. So those are also ways to keep the state up. But there are also other ways to generate passion stream while you're already in the passion state. And that way is right here with her sort of heavy attack. Right here, solid show jump. So whenever you enter the passion state, you get 1 use of this attack. And you do it by just holding down your attack button there. And during this attack, you gain passion stream, like I said, which is very nice to keep the uptime, but then you also get a higher anti-interrupt level, as well as 40% damage reduction during the attack, and also invulnerability during the final hit of the attack. So this is very good to get some solid damage on, plus also keep your passion stay up for longer, because Jane's big damage is going to be when she's in the passion state, so you're going to want to keep that active no matter what. Then, not really going to go over too much for her dodge or her assist, but the one thing I do want to say is that she does have two different dodges, one that activates in the passion state and another one that activates when she's not in the passion state. And the big thing to note for the one in the passion state is that her dodge can pass through enemies that are in front of her. So that could be useful for some movement. At least when I tested her in the story quests, the undercover R&B, I didn't really get too much of a use out of this. But we want to take her into endgame content. Maybe it'll be helpful for movement and just getting around the battlefield. But yeah, assists are pretty straightforward as well. Invincibility during the use of the assists, and of course the defensive assist giving a ton of daze is very nice. Then for her specials, you're pretty much just going to want to use her EX special and not worry about the regular one, because she's still going to be able to do solid damage with the basic attacks, plus she'll also have the Salcho jump to get some extra damage in. So for her EX special, you are going to get a very solid daze multiplier here. It only shows it at level 6, but pretty high daze and damage multiplier, so it is good to try to get this as much as you can whenever you have the meter for it. Obviously, if you are in passion state, you're gonna expend some of your passion stream meter, but if you aren't in the state, you're gonna gain passion stream, so it really is just gonna depend on the situation. But a lot of the time for Jane, you're gonna want to use her stuff when you're in the passion state, so you can get the most out of the damage and the anomaly build up for that. Then moving on to her chain attack here. Her chain attack and ultimate have a very important property where they actually automatically put her into the passion state with a maximum passion stream meter. Meaning that if you use your stun character to get the stun on the enemy and you go through all your chain attacks, you want to end with Jane, because once you do Jane's chain attack, you're going to get max passion stream. And then you can use that to get a bunch of damage in, use your Salcho jump. And then as that passion stream is running out, if you have enough energy, you can then use your ultimate. The ultimate is going to do the same thing. It's going to increase your passion stream to maximum and put you into the passion state, which gives you another use of Salcho jump and also lets you keep all those buffs active, which is really good. You're going to be able to get an insane amount of uptime if you do combo her properly. Plus also getting a ton of damage, and not to mention the 55% anomaly buildup rate that we're going to have just from her additional ability and also from the passion state itself. So that is her overall kit here. So now let's go into whether or not you should be pulling for Jane. Alright, so I think overall, if you are thinking about pulling for Jane, I think that if you really need a strong DPS character, she is an absolute pull kind of character. Because her damage, I think, is especially with her anomalies being able to crit, you're going to be able to do a ton of damage. Because if you've seen like Piper doing her anomaly and be like, wow, that's a lot of damage, Jane is just always going to be able to do way more because she's going to be able to crit. And because you'll end up building her with a ton of anomaly proficiency, anomaly mastery, attack, all that stuff, pairing that with the ability to crit is going to be pretty insane to get a lot more damage with her. Plus also, I think when you're talking about the value of pulling a character, Jane actually has a really good value on her banner because she is being paired up with Seth, who's the new A rank, and not only are they in the same faction, so they'll activate each other's additional ability, but also Seth does have, through his core passive, he's able to increase an ally's anomaly proficiency with his shield, and his additional ability also makes it so that whenever he hits an enemy with his chain attack or the final hit of his basic attack sequence, he does also reduce enemies' anomaly buildup resistance. So because he works so well with anomaly, you're gonna get a ton of value by pulling for Jane, because you'll already also probably be able to pull a really good teammate for her too. So then that leaves you one other spot, which you can use for like another anomaly character, like Grace or maybe Piper. I'm gonna try out Jane and Piper. I have no idea how it'll work, but I'll see once Jane actually comes out. Like you can try that. You can try a stun character. Like you can run Ching Yi, you can run like Anbi, who's also on the banner, and that could be pretty good as well. But I do think that if your account has multiple strong DPS characters already, like you have Ellen, you have Zuyu on, and you feel like you're good on DPSs, then, you know, despite how good Jane is going to be, because I think she is going to be the best anomaly DPS in the game upon release, I do think that maybe either pulling for Ching Yi or saving for the 1.2 characters might end up being a better investment overall, if you already are like super set on your DPSs and you don't have to worry about that. But if you think you could benefit from a strong DPS, I think that Jane is a very good pull, especially with the value she has on her banner. So those are overall my thoughts on Jane. Let me know if you guys are pulling for her, and let me know what you all think of her in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed and haven't already, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button. The support is greatly appreciated, and I will see you all next time.